office. How can I help you?
Hi, I was just calling. I had received something today saying that my filing was not accepted.
Okay.
It would be 24781.
Okay, and what did you file?
Petition for mandamus.
So you received something saying your application was denied.
It says, maybe I should just see. It says,
There were 2-minute entries that were sent out and said application to docket and original action was denied.
Yes,
and
that
the
one.
Application for petition for writ of mandamus is denied as well.
Sure. Does it say why?
Hold on 1 second.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, it was just the application to docket. The original action was denied, and they didn't give us any information. That's all the information they give us.
So I guess I'm confused because if it was denied, wouldn't there be a reason why it was denied? I mean, first I'm accused of something by this.
That's not something that they provide to us.
What about me though? Wouldn't I get that information?
No, the court. That's the ruling that came down from the court. That's all they said. Application to docket, the original action denied.
So
That's all the information that the court put out there.
right, and I can appreciate what you're saying, and I don't dispute that, but I guess what I'm saying is, as a citizen, I've been accused of something by the Supreme Court Disciplinary Department of unauthorized practice of law, and then they refuse to tell me what I'm actually being accused of. When I request it, they say they can't tell me what the information or what the complaint was, what the documents are they claim to have. They say they had it for 3 months, but can't tell me anything about it. They don't answer calls. They don't respond to emails. So when I file this saying, hey, I'm being attacked here, and then they just dismiss it out of hand without even, I mean, wouldn't I at least get to know why? I mean, is that not normal procedure to know why it's been not accepted, or do I get my money back? I mean, was it, it's all these things that don't make sense to me because it's the way the law reads. And so I'm not asking for legal advice, but what I am asking is, how do I get the information to find out? I mean, this whole system is a big secret. Everybody, attorneys get information that I don't get, but there's no logical reason for that, because if we're supposed to be on equal footing, how am I supposed to defend myself without the information? But then in situations like this, I can't even find out what the purpose behind it was.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't interpret that ruling for you. I can tell you if you were represented by an attorney and if they would have submitted the same documents that you submitted, they would have got the same exact ruling, application to docket and original action denied. And no further information can be provided because the court doesn't provide us with any other information.
Okay, so do I get my fee back? Or, I mean, I guess this feels like theft when, they...
Let me ask about the fee, but I don't think so. Okay.
Sure.
information I was provided is no, the fees are not refunded just because an application is denied.
So, but I also wouldn't be allowed to amend it or be told what's insufficient or anything. Is that, I mean, so...
I can't provide you any more
well, I'm not
information
asking
than
for
I've already
anything...
provided you.
Right, but...
because I have no more information.
Who might I gather that information from? I mean, I'm not trying to be difficult. I just, from my perspective, I'm trying to do everything properly. Every single person that I run into, and I don't mean you guys, but I mean along the way, is, evasive. Like, when you're being accused of a crime, but they won't tell you what the crime, what the actual accusation is, and then you ask and you request it formally through Freedom of Information, and they won't tell you what it is. So then you have no other alternative because you're being accused of that by somebody that's not overseen by anybody else, and you go to the Supreme Court and they say, we're not going to look at it. It seems...
They did look at it. It was put before the justices, and they came back with the ruling that I told you. So it was looked at.
Does it say, though, because of the filing was insufficient? Or, I mean, I'd just like to know how I find out.
Again, the wording that you got is the wording that we got. Application to docket and original action denied.
And there's no way I can find out what it was denied for. Like, is this just their subjective decision not to look at it, or is it something I did wrong? I mean, can we...
Again, they did look at it.
Right, and if they looked at it and subjectively said, well, we don't want to address this, that's different than them going, well, this wasn't filed with the proper punctuation or page numbers or whatever. There's a difference between the two. You see what I'm saying? And so...
I do completely understand, but they don't provide any additional information.
How would one know what to do next then if they don't know whether they've just produced something incorrect or if they have actually...
I would go back to the rules on how to apply for an original action. Go back to the Supreme Court rules.
Sure.
And see if everything you did was complete, or I can provide you with some phone numbers that help pro se people, like Legal Aid of Nebraska or Nebraska State Bar has a referral.
Yeah, I mean, but what we're talking about at this point is substance over, or form over substance by a long shot. I mean, and I get it. I'm not trying to talk your ear off or anything. I get it. Those numbers won't help me. I mean, I've called them in the past many times, and, they won't. So. Yeah,
unfortunately, the information that I've given you is, I have nothing else to tell you.
And there's no way I can talk to somebody that can give me that information. Is that fair to say?
Nobody else in the clerk's office has provided any additional information than the information that I have provided you.
Sure. How about outside of the clerk's office? Is there anyone I can talk to that... I mean, again, at the end of the day, if we're trying to see justice as it should be, I mean, being... Not you, again, but, like, being secretive or me not knowing what it precisely is that I have done wrong, or whether I did nothing wrong, they just don't want to address it. Like, these are two very, very different things.
I understand that.
There's just no way I can figure out which of the two it was. Even if they don't say, well, we're not... I mean, if they say, we're not going to tell you, but what it is you did wrong, but it was something you did wrong. It wasn't that we just chose not to hear it. I mean, you get what I'm saying? Like, it seems...
I mean, I can take your phone number
if you don't mind.
I'm not trying. Yeah. Give you a call back.
I would just, I mean, if you don't mind, I would just. Ideally, those two things are very different, and they require very different approaches. One would be making sure that I get my formatting or whatever correct, and quote, if I've missed something or whatever. The other would just be, well, nobody's going to address it.
Yep, what's your phone number?
It's 402-813-2156.
I will pass your information along and see if I can get somebody to call you back. I can't guarantee anybody has any other knowledge than what we have been given.
I understand
but I will
that.
do what
I
I
do.
can do.
I appreciate it.
Alrighty.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Crazy.